You ever notice how everyone tells you to buy a house like some sacred commandment? You gotta buy a house, it's an investment. Yeah, an investment in anxiety. Buying a house is the adult version of saying, I want to feel trapped, but with curtains. Everyone acts like it's the ultimate goal in life, but nobody tells you that what you're actually buying is paperwork. Debt and the permanent fear that your roof might one day decide to quit on you. It's wild. We call it ownership, but it's really more like a long-term relationship with bills. They make it sound so magical when you're young. One day, you'll own your own home. That sounds great when you're renting a shoebox apartment with a roommate who eats your cereal. But then you realize having doesn't mean a having. Owning means assigning. You sit in some office with fake plants and a guy in a tie explaining interest rates like it's poetry. He's like, congratulations. You just made the biggest purchase of your life. And you're smiling because you don't know that he just legally turned you into his financial pet for the next 3 decades. And that first time you sign that mortgage, oh my God, they hand you a pen like it's a sword. And you're about to slay adulthood. You sign and sign. You sign so much your hand goes numb. And every time you do, it's like you're saying, yes, I agree to be slightly miserable until I die. The banker's smiling, shaking your hand, and you feel proud. Like you just did something noble. You didn't. You just promised to pay him $1,000 a month for 30 years so we can play golf on Fridays. Then you move in, and for one brief delusional week, you feel like a champion. You walk through empty rooms like, this is mine. You stand in the kitchen, pretending to enjoy the smell of new paint while secretly thinking, wow, that smell is probably toxic. You tell your friends, yeah, I finally bought a place. And they clap because everyone's been brainwashed into believing this is success. You're a homeowner. Yeah, sure. Until I miss one payment and suddenly I'm a homeless man with really nice curtains. Nobody tells you that a house isn't freedom. It's maintenance disguised as pride. You don't realize how bad it is until you get that first property tax bill. No. You thought you owned something and then the government goes, that's cute, pay rent to us too. What do you mean pay rent on something I own? That's like paying a cover charge to sit in your own car. Then comes the repairs. Oh, the repairs? The moment you buy a house, everything in it develops an attitude. The sink starts leaking like it's protesting your mortgage. The roof decides it's had a good run and wants to retire. Every noise at night becomes a threat. You can't even sleep peacefully. You just lie there listening for creaks, thinking, that sounds like a $3,000 problem. And the best part? There's no landlord to call. You are the landlord. You get to fix your own misery. People say renting is throwing money away. No, renting is paying for freedom, but you pay a few $100, and when the ceiling starts leaking, you just call someone and say, fix it. When you own a house, you can't do that. You have to call yourself and you're never available. You're sitting on the couch watching TV when suddenly you hear a dripping noise and think, oh, there goes my weekend. And what's with real estate agents? They're like magicians who sell dreams using lies. They show you a 700 square foot box and call it a cozy. They show you a patch of dead grass and call it a low maintenance. They point at cracks in the wall and say, that's just character. No, that's a crack. And they always do that thing where they tell you, this neighborhood is really up and coming. Yeah, so are the prices. They're coming up. My wallet's going down. You ever notice how everyone's in on the scam? The realtor, the banker, the insurance guy. They all smile like they know something you don't. And they do. They know you'll be broke for the rest of your life, but you'll feel classy about it. You'll brag to your friends about your equity while eating instant noodles because you can't afford groceries anymore. And oh, the interest rates. They call it interest. Because it's how they stay interested in keeping you poor. You buy a $400,000 house. And by the time you finish paying it off, you've paid almost $1 million. You basically bought 2 houses. One for you, one for the bank. You should at least get visitation rights to theirs. But we still do it. We line up like zombies with loan applications, begging to be enslaved by bricks. And we justify it with phrases we don't even understand. It's an asset. Yeah, so is your liver. Doesn't mean it's fun to maintain. It'll appreciate in value. Sure, but so did my therapy bills after I bought it. It's an investment in your future. My future looks like me arguing with a plumber who charges $200 an hour to fix a pipe he broke himself. It's amazing how fast the American dream turns into a nightmare once the bills start rolling in. You start cutting corners just to stay afloat. You really need heat this winter? Blankets are patriotic, right? You eat cereal for dinner and call it a financial discipline. And every time you check your account, it feels like the house is laughing at you. Oh, you thought I'd make you rich? No, I'm the reason you'll never be rich. And the worst part, you can't leave. You're stuck. You can't just pack up and move to a new city because you're tied to the property. What a phrase. It's tied to the property. It sounds like something out of medieval times. You're not a homeowner, you're a serf with Wi-Fi. You thought you were buying independence, but really, you just bought yourself a very expensive prison with a front yard. You know what's really twisted? The system depends on us falling for it. Because if people stop believing that buying a house is the ultimate goal, the whole illusion collapses. The economy runs on FOMO. Your parents tell you, if you don't buy now, you'll regret it later. Yeah, I'm already regretting it now. And speaking of parents, they're the worst offenders. They guilt trip you into buying a house like it's proof of adulthood. When are you gonna settle down? Stop wasting money on rent. Yeah, because paying 30 years of interest is such a better deal. They tell you, you need to build equity. What does that even mean? Equity sounds like something Batman would say. Quick, Robin, to the equity! You ever see how smug homeowners are? They walk around with this weird sense of superiority, like they unlock the secret to life. No, you still rent. And I also sleep at night, Karen. You know what's not cute? Crying over a broken water heater at 2 a.m. And don't even get me started on HHS pronoun dissociations. The pettiest form of tyranny known to man. It's like paying extra money to have your neighbors bully you. They'll fine you for painting your fence the wrong shade of beige. They'll send letters about your garbage cans being too visible. Imagine fighting for your freedom only to be oppressed by Greg from across the street because your grass is half an inch too tall. Then there's the housing market. That magical place where logic goes to die. Prices go up, everyone panics. Prices go down, everyone panics. The whole thing is a casino for people who wear suits instead of shorts. You can't win. Buy a house, it crashes. Wait too long, it skyrockets. It's like a rigged carnival game where the prize is lifelong debt. And you know who really owns all the houses? Not you, not me. Corporations. Giant investment firms buying entire neighborhoods like monopoly boards. They'll buy your childhood home, rent it back to you, and then raise the rent because they can.